There was a time when these machines ruled the road. Steel titans thundering across America's highways, reshaping industries and rewriting transportation rules. But now, they're gone and forgotten and abandoned in dusty yards. Even now, modern trucks wouldn't exist without the groundwork they laid. Why were they erased? Who decided their time was up? And how did they change the world before disappearing? These are the lost giants of American trucking. Their story might just change the way you see every truck on the road today. Let's start with a name that once echoed through logging camps and construction sites. Autocar DC Series, a machine built to drive and dominate. In the golden age of American industry, when roads were rough and jobs were more challenging, one truck stood like a warhorse in the mud, the Autocar DC Series. Born in the 1950s and roaring through the 70s, this machine didn't just carry weight, it carried reputations. If you saw a DC rolling down the road, you knew something serious was happening behind that wheel. Built for those who worked in extreme environments, logging camps, mines, quarries, the Autocar DC was no ordinary rig. It was purpose-built and custom-made for abuse. It was the kind of truck that didn't ask if the job was hard. It asked how much harder it could get. Key features. Time period. Active production from the early 1950s to the late 1970s. Engine power. Most DCs came equipped with the legendary Cummins NH series or Detroit Diesel 671, which delivered 200 to 335 horsepower, a staggering number for its time. Design and construction. Built on a solid steel chassis with a square, bulldog-like cab that looked as tough as it performed. Interior. No frills, just metal panels, analog gauges, and raw utility. It smelled of diesel, dust, and hard-earned paychecks. But it wasn't just about power, it was about survival. Drivers trusted the DC series because it could claw its way up mountains with full loads, survive freezing winters, and keep going even when modern trucks would have turned back. Why it vanished. So what happened to this iron legend? As America modernized, the industry moved toward fuel efficiency, lighter materials, and driver comfort. Regulations tightened, and the beast had to step aside for newer, softer machines. The Autocar DC didn't fade because it failed. It faded because the world got easier. Its legacy. Today, every off-road vocational truck, every dump truck that powers through a construction zone carries the DNA of the Autocar DC series. It sets the benchmark for what an actual heavy-duty truck could be. But while the Autocar DC ruled with muscle and grit, another machine quietly entered the scene, one that combined strength with something the industry had never seen before: elegance. While some trucks were forged in fire and built to endure punishment, the Diamond T Model 201 arrived with a different philosophy. From 1938 to 1949, the Diamond T 201 didn't just deliver cargo, it delivered style. Nicknamed the Cadillac of trucks, it defied every expectation about what a working-class vehicle could be. Where other trucks of the era looked like rolling toolboxes, the Model 201 had sweeping fenders, Art Deco lines, and polished chrome accents that gleamed in the sun. It was the truck that turned heads, and then hauled freight like a pro. Time period, 1938 to 1949, a decade that saw both World War II and the post-war boom. Engine. Powered by the Hercules QX series 6-cylinder engine, it produced around 73 to 100 horsepower. Modest on paper, but exceptionally reliable. Interior. Rich burgundy leather, curved dashboards, and car-like steering columns. Drivers often joke that it felt like steering a luxury sedan with a flatbed. Construction. Heavy-duty axles, strong frame rails, and industrial-grade suspension. It may have looked elegant, but it was all business under the skin. This was the truck of choice for businesses that cared about their image. Funeral homes, dairy companies, even fire departments. Driving a Diamond T wasn't just practical, it was aspirational. Why it vanished. But then came the 1950s, a decade of rapid change. The post-war economy demanded cheaper, more efficient, purely utilitarian trucks. Luxury became excess, and the elegant Diamond T, outpaced by rising competition and changing consumer priorities, slowly disappeared. Its legacy. But its influence? Still visible. Look at today's high-end sleeper cabs with plush interiors and sleek contours. That blend of comfort and capability, the Diamond T was doing it 80 years ago. But while the Diamond T offered luxury on wheels, the next game changer stripped away the excess and redefined trucking efficiency with one radical idea: move the engine underneath the driver. In an era where real estate on the road was becoming as valuable as gold, one truck took a bold leap forward by doing the unthinkable, putting the driver above the engine. Time period: produced from the 1940s to the 1960s. Design innovation: its flat-fronted cab perched atop the engine maximized cargo space while shrinking the truck's footprint. Engine: inline-six gasoline and early diesel variants, easy to maintain and powerful for city freight routes. Interior: Spartan and elevated. Drivers sat high, engine heat below their feet, with a commanding view of the road, though comfort was minimal. It wasn't glamorous, but it was efficient. The white 3000 COE became the workhorse of crowded cities, slipping into tight loading bays and navigating narrow alleys where long-nosed trucks couldn't dream of fitting. Why it vanished. Eventually, the rise of more advanced cab-over designs, especially from competitors like Freightliner, made the 3000 obsolete. Drivers also craved more comfort and better engine access, pushing white out of the lead. Its legacy. Today's urban delivery trucks and COE designs still follow the white 3000's footprint. It showed the world that form could follow function and still make it on time. But long before highways were choked with freight and schedules, another truck blazed a trail. Off-road, in war zones, and across terrain no vehicle had conquered before. Before America's highways, paved roads stretched coast to coast. There was mud, war, and chaos. And in that chaos, one truck refused to stop. The FWD Model B. Built in the 1910s and dominating through the 1940s, it was one of the first American vehicles to feature genuine all-wheel drive. Time period. First built in 1912, it saw extensive service during World War I and beyond. Engine. A sturdy four-cylinder Wisconsin engine producing about 36 to 45 horsepower. Design. Tall, wide stance, open cabs, massive wheels, and a rugged, military-ready frame that could go where others sank. It hauled troops, supplies, artillery, anything needed to keep the front lines moving. After the war, municipalities, logging camps, and fire departments nationwide used it. Why it vanished. By the 1940s, more modern all-wheel systems and more significant engines took over. Like the war it helped win, the FWD Model B was consigned to the history books. Its legacy. But today's military vehicles, off-road utility trucks, and even heavy-duty pickup trucks trace their roots to this iron pioneer. It proved one thing: sometimes the best way forward is all wheels down. The Autocar DC was the muscle. The Diamond T was the class. The white 3000 COE was the space saver, and the FWD Model B, the trailblazer. Four forgotten giants, four legends buried beneath rust and time, but their spirit still rolling strong in every mile of American steel. The road is long, but it's never empty. It carries stories of men, machines, moments in time that changed the world quietly, mile by mile. Today's trucks may be more brilliant, faster, and quieter, but every time you hear the hum of a diesel engine or feel the rumble beneath the wheels, you hear an echo of America's lost giants. If this journey through forgotten machines sparked something in you, don't let it end here. Hit like, share this story, and subscribe for more untold legends from the road, because sometimes the past deserves a second ride.